We'd love to see that. Let's talk about what's happening in the U.S. Senate this coming week. There is going to be a vote on Thursday to extend the Obamacare subsidies that are running out at the end of the year. I don't need to tell you, 1 in 10 constituents of yours in Utah are on Obamacare. How are you going to vote?
So sadly, this is not really a serious effort. Just to extend 3 years, something that has not been working, that was meant to be temporary from the beginning, is not a good vote. We know, look, we need a minimum premium for people, even if it's a couple of bucks. We know we need a cap on income. That's not a serious effort if you're not willing to talk about, look, we know there's flaws with these, and we're not willing to change those flaws. Sadly, there are a lot of Republicans and Democrats talking about both two things. One is, how do we actually lower the cost, not just of insurance, but of health care? And then what do we do in the interim while we're waiting to do that? Those are two really questions that we're not having thoughtful conversation about, and I don't get a thoughtful vote next week. That's not a thoughtful vote to say we're just going to extend what we're doing.
Yeah, and that's fair. And the fact that there aren't thoughtful conversations after all of these years is, says a lot about the institution in which you serve. But separate from that, the short term, it's 10 legislative days between now and when the premiums of the existing program do run out. So we're talking about people who are really going to suffer while you're saying Congress isn't talking to each other. Would you at least be willing to put a Band-Aid on?
You can't have this conversation without saying, we took 6 or 7 weeks away from this conversation while we had this silly shutdown. We wasted valuable time. These conversations were going on before the shutdown. They totally stopped during the shutdown. But even under that, in the best of circumstances, these are complicated issues that you're not just going to be able to throw out there in a couple of weeks.